Christmas spooky shit, isn't it?
Hoo ho ho
Ooh.
hoo.
No, that's not it. We'll turn away with 2 viewers. Let's not do that. Anyway, welcome back everybody to One Good Scare. You've got myself and Mr. Keegan once again at the right sides of the screen tonight. And we just thought, because we missed last Friday because both you and I were out on kind of Christmas
Getting
night
pissed
out,
separately at separate work dues.
Yeah. I mean, I dare say that I was in a better state than you.
I texted you on Saturday.
Which of a lightweight you are.
Are you hungover too? And you were like, no. And I'm like,
you've been out with me. Am I ever hungover?
No.
Exactly. It's because I'm a man. Okay, right. Let's jump to the chat and see who we have got tonight. We have got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Nice to see you, Fuzzy. Merry Christmas to my 2 favorite Xmas puddings. Yeah, I can take it. I'm pudding shaped. The spontaneous hashtag spooky shit. What better way to start the festivities? Absolutely.
It's our little Christmas present to you guys.
Our gift.
Drop this surprise.
Our gift to you all. Yes. We've got Terry Deadman. Nice to see you, Terry. Terry has just done a brilliant video on his latest pickups. Terry, we've got some comic book fans in the chat. Fuzzy, yourself, and Batman. I know in your latest video, Terry, what were the 2 books that I thought? Well, I'll have to ask you about that. The Moon is Following and Stand Still. I dropped off with both of those. So let us know in the chat if they're worth continuing. I read issue 1 of both, but then I haven't read on. So let me know if they're good, because I know you picked them up recently. Fuzzy as well, I think, probably reading them. We've got Bat Dan. Nice to see you, Bat Dan. Hey up, folks. Always nice to see you, bud. I hope you are doing well. Okay. Lots of spooky shit to get through.
Packed episode today.
I've watched tons of videos and films lately as well, so I've got loads to get through. I don't know if you've skipped ahead of the slides to see what films have been watching.
I saw a little bit. I was surprised you didn't put a Dexter slide in there.
Well, I did Dexter on my Christmas show over on One Good Scare Show. Please go on Trilogy Comics. Go check it out. So yeah, I haven't watched episode 2 yet, but yeah. Okie dokie, let's crack right on with some spooky shit. And we've got this. This is a bit of Clayface action. Tell me about this, Mr. Keegan.
This is very interesting. So they're doing DC Studios is doing a Clayface movie, and it's been described as like David Cronenberg's The Fly. So it's being directed by Mike Flanagan, who, just let me get the page up.
I know that name, Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. So he did Oculus, Hush, Ouija, Origin of Evil, Gerald's Game, Doctor Sleep. You know, the Shining sequel.
Okay.
He did House on Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor.
That's where I know him from.
Fall of the House of Usher. So very strong pedigree in the horror sphere. So this is very out of left field, I feel.
I hope DC actually just let him go full tilt with this and make it a proper horror, because Clayface is a character, if not the actor version from the original comics, but if they stick with like a mutated puddle of mud, could be really, really horrific.
I think like the actor kind of element of it, like he's an aspiring actor, and then use it. I think you can make a really interesting story. I'm very curious, is this in the DCU though, because Alan Tudyk is playing. He plays Clayface in the Harley Quinn show, which is separate, but he's also playing him in Creature Commandos. So it's like presumably a similar version. So I wonder if it's going to be Alan Tudyk in this as well, or is this going to be like an Elseworld kind of thing?
See, I'm not with you here. I want to. Actually, I'm envisaging like the Blob. I want a really horrific kind of monster story, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like hearing that. We'll get these weird Elseworld kind of things. So like, it's very out of left field, but it's a character I think could suit that kind of film.
Yeah, and great director. I mean, I love The House of Usher. Follow The House of Usher, one of my favorites. But he's just saying, Stand Still. It's still my top 5. Ooh, issue 1 was the best single issue. Yeah, I loved issue 1. Okay, I shall catch up with that one over the Christmas period. Just watch my favorite ever horror, Ghostbusters, was on BBC One. Yeah, we need to do an I'll be right back on Ghostbusters, really, don't we?
We'll do that. We have some Ghostbusters news tonight, so maybe when that thing comes out, we'll do it.
Doctor Sleep. That's the sequel or the prequel. Is it a sequel to
sequel to The Shining?
Sequel.
That's when the son is grown up and it's Ewan McGregor.
I've not seen it. I've not watched
It's
that one.
I think it's really good. Like, it's obviously not like to the level of The Shining, but I think it's like in terms for what it is. I think it's pretty good. Like, it's a very interesting story. Like, there's like vampire kind of things in it and stuff. Like, it's it's weird.
Fuzzy saying I like it. People have been clamoring for Clayface. I'm not convinced.
This is dated for like I think next year. So like I think they're gung ho. This is just gonna kind of fast track
Okay.
happen. He's geared for it to do it. So like yeah, horrors tend to take that. Like I don't know how much CG will be in this, or if it'll be like a lot of practical effects. But I think this will come out like pretty quick.
We're gonna get to practical effects later on in one of my reviews because this is a horrific looking character, and I'd expect a bit of CGI, but I'd rather it was mainly practical effects. The Moon, I had to read a couple of times to get into, but 2 and 3 were better. Haven't read 4 yet. Let one know, Terry, what it's like. I think Clayface is meant to be the new DCU rather than Elseworlds. Okay.
Well, that's interesting. So we'll get a preview of this character. We'll already have met this character then, like in Creature Command. I've not started watching that yet.
It's not out here in the UK unless you do dodgy stuff. I ain't managed to
I would never do that, Peter.
No, you don't. All right. Grace to scream. Oh, friggin' scream!
Listen,
man.
it's one of the biggest horror franchises out there. So they're
every fortnight we talk about it, man.
We're in the midst of casting season. I told you last episode that we're going to have more casting by the time the next one comes out, and here we are. This is pretty exciting though. I think so. First up, McKenna Grace has joined the cast.
I'm excited.
We're not going to the exciting part. I mean, she's good. I really like McKenna Grace. I think she's a highlight of the new Ghostbusters movies. Great actress, so I'm really excited to see her in it. But Mason Gooding is reprising as well as Chad. So we got one of the core 4 back, at least one. Hopefully we get this. I'd imagine we'll get the sister back as well.
Yeah. Who was he? I can't remember him. Who was he?
He's like Randy's like nephew. Remember the 2 twins?
Oh yes.
So he gets stabbed almost to death in both movies. So he's come back for this one. Yeah, I'm happy to see a returning one. It's not just going to forget that those movies happened. So I think that's a positive.
You've reminded us there of why I was irritated with the last film, and I think he might be one of the reasons.
Because he gets stabbed like 40 times.
And I remember moaning about that at the time, thinking this is just it's silly because he was like stabbed repeatedly, wasn't he? And he just got up.
And it would have been a great, impactful death because he's sort of him and Jenna Ortega have the kind of core relationship, like the love story of that movie. So I think it would have been a great moment to like kill that character. But they're bringing him back. I'm happy just that with him being alive. I'm happy that he's coming back because I think him and the actress that plays the sister both seem to love being in these movies. So I was like a bit gutted for them that like if they were moving away from those characters that like it's not really fair to them. So I'm happy that they have the opportunity to return.
I did see something today on Instagram or something saying that Courtney Cox has confirmed to be coming back, but I thought we already knew that. Did we not know that a while ago?
It was not official. It's official now. Yeah, so I did forget that happened as well. So
you can reuse that as a slide next time, James.
Okay,
you know
so Courtney Cox. Oh yeah, that's my excuse for next time. Yeah. I'll save to talk about. No, Gail doesn't need to be in them anymore. I don't think it needs her. I mean, look, it's cool that she's back, but like I don't think it's necessary. I think she should have died in the last one as well.
Yeah, I think she should have died as well. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Ooh, a bit of Buffy. I do like a bit of Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Now this is very interesting. I'm not. You're a massive Buffy fan, aren't
you? Right. I am, but it's like we've talked about on a lot of shows and movies we've gone back to. Sometimes in your head, the nostalgia's better. So I bigged up Buffy and Angel. I would argue Angel's the better series for years and years and years. And then a good 3 years ago, I tried to make my kids watch it to get them into it because I thought Jessica would love it, female role model and all the rest of it. And shit, the bed season 1's hard work. We gave up. I thought I kind of put them through this. So I don't know if it is as good as I remember it being in later seasons. I think it gets better, but I just kind of remember.
I remember how Buffy being hot shit when I was a kid. Like I remember everybody fucking.
Oh, she's definitely hot shit.
And how she died in every season, and everyone would freak out that she died. And
she didn't die in every season. She died in one friggin' season. Get a grip.
Well, I remember that being a big deal. Anyway, but I tried watching it. I remember 10 years ago. I just wasn't really. I got 6 or 7 episodes in, and I was just like, I'm not really gelling with this. I'm a big fan of Supernatural, and I think I like just lean towards that. I don't know why this didn't grab me. But Sarah Michelle Gellar has notoriously like always, anytime anyone's ever asked, Buffy, would you do Buffy again? No, she always says no. But she's recently turned her opinion on that. So she was on the Drew Barrymore show last week. And I have the quote here. I always used to say no. Someone was asked about Buffy Revival. I always used to say no, but it's in its bubble and it's so perfect. Geller said in the talk show, but watching and just like that and seeing Dexter Original Sin and realizing there are ways to do it definitely does get your mind thinking, well, maybe. So I think this is a matter, like, if she's on board, it's a matter of time. Like, this is going to happen.
And let's be honest, other than probably Boreanaz, whatever you call them, the rest of the cast, I think, are pretty much just waiting for this to happen because they ain't done stellar things, any of them, really. James Masters has done some good work. I will have to do for the show. I've never done a video on it, but I went and saw Buffy Explained a while ago, which was a
one-man show thing.
One-man show, and it's super popular. It's very, very good. So I'll have to do that at some point.
Look into that.
Yeah,
it's sooner rather than later. I think this will happen, and people love it. Like, what impresses me about Buffy is that they managed to keep that IP alive all this time. Like, I think there's still comic books. There was like just an audio series. With James Marsters, like just last Slayers, I think it's called, like from Audible, like last year. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, this is gonna happen.
I'd love a bit more Buffy. I think the challenge with Buffy is that Josh Whedon is so intrinsically linked to it, and I'm not sure where he stands these days. And none of the cast I think would want to work with him.
Does he still do stuff? What's the last thing he did?
I don't think this is what I'm saying, but it's his. Buffy is Josh's. Do you know what I mean? He created it. He wrote it. You know, it's very distinct. I don't know. I don't know. So. It's very distinct to his voice, really, which is the irony of how he turned out, because it's all about women power and stuff like that. But he treated everybody like shit.
When he was just an asshole to every woman that was on board the project. His last thing was a show called The Nevers in 2021. I think that's right when that was airing. Was when the stuff came out about him. So yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go back on what I said because I'm looking at that image there, and there are no doubt some dodgy episodes of Buffy, but actually the one thing that there are some phenomenal episodes that I think you would love. There's an episode called The Body. Have you seen that? Which is just
describe it, because I've seen clips and I've seen like videos about
The Body is where basically a mother dies of a stroke. I think it is.
Yes,
she's just lying on the bed, and then there's I think it's called Hush. With the creatures that there are some stunning
weeping
episodes.
Is it weeping angel things, like the statues that move?
That's Doctor Who.
Okay, they're called weeping angels, but there's a similar ones in this where they're statues that move when you're not looking at them, isn't there?
No, don't remember that one. I don't remember statues.
I'm certain there is. Is there not weird? Isn't there like a really? Or I know the weird things in suits. Those things are
they're not statues.
I know, but those I'm separately talking about them. But there's statue things in Buffy. I'm certain of it.
Not that I remember, James. Not that I
Fuzzy,
remember.
this is where you jump in. And
Fuzzy, can you Google that? Fact check whether there's moving statues in Buffy. I can't remember. Okay, let's move on from beautiful, gorgeous Buffy. Yeah.
That was a harsh transition there. So we got our first, I mean, not that much to say about this really, but our first look at Megan in Megan 2.0. I like the first movie. I'm looking forward to this. I know you weren't like a big fan of it, or you just didn't like it at all, did you?
No, I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it at all. It's just I didn't find it scary in the slightest. I thought it had all been done before. And again, you know, we've talked before. If I go and see a horror, I want to see something horrible. And other than a few scenes in this, I thought it was just pretty average. Whereas everybody else thought, it's the best thing ever. I thought it's been kind of done before.
I don't think anybody said it was the best thing ever. I think it was just like a cool new franchise kind of thing. So like, I mean, like, there's not much to note here. It's just like, it's Megan, isn't it? I hope she does another weird dance thing in this, though. Like, 100% she will. Because that was like all craze, wasn't it?
No, but that was one of the worst bits of the friggin' film. Don't be giving us dance scenes with horror. Do you know what I mean?
Did that movie come out? Do you remember we were talking a while ago? There was like a spin-off about it was going to be an adult robot.
I thought that was what this was meant to be, Megan 2.
No, this is another Megan movie, but there was like in the same universe, there's a spin-off movie about it. And I thought they said that's coming out before this. So did that come out already?
I haven't seen it. Not seen it.
That's not the Megan Fox thing, is it? I assume that's a
No,
separate
I don't
thing.
think so.
Okay.
Don't think so. But Dan, Hush episode was standout. We'll never forget it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is that the one where they had to be quiet?
But nobody can speak. So they steal everybody's voices from memory. Yeah.
I like those kind of gimmick episodes. I think that's fun. Like a fun.
I would argue once more with Feeling, which is the singing episode where basically a song demon infects them all and everybody's singing, is one of the best episodes of TV ever.
That's just fun. And like even hearing that concept, it's like I can see how much of Supernatural pulled from Buffy. There's so many episodes that are like that. It's like, oh, they go to the real world.
Angel was the first TV show to do the Muppet episode. Again, great. You know. There's some good stuff in there. Fuzzy, I started rewatching X-Files, still stuck on season 2, even that looks tight. I did the same thing, Fuzzy, a little while ago. Went back and tried to rewatch it, and you're right. It's
was that? Did they announce a new revival?
So I don't know if Duchovny and Anderson are going to be in it. Okay. But there is definitely something new coming.
I just forgot to put a slide for that. Apologies.
Do you know what? X-Files was good for me when it was standalone episodes. Get into massive long arcs about people impregnating Scully and stuff, and it lost us. I couldn't get a crack about the smoking man anymore and all this shit.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Do you like the movies?
Do you know what? Again, it's that long since I've seen them. I don't think so, because I think, again, certainly the first movie leans heavily into the kind of the Scully concept of being impregnated and things, I think, rather than just a monster of the week. I like a monster of the week. You know?
Simple, straightforward. Yeah. You know, like I know you can't do that forever. Like, but I like. Yeah.
I remember with X-Files, there's a villain who I think came back twice. Toombs, I want to say, I can't remember. Who's basically his bones are like rubber, so he's like in an escalator and stuff like that. And that was tremendously creepy stuff back in the day. I don't know if it'll stand up now. Going back to watch it. A moving statue is an oxymoron.
You're a fucking oxymoron.
Hey, don't abuse with a couple of viewers. How dare you? Peter, did you know that Sarah is the same age as you? So you're saying there's a chance, dead man? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think anyone reasonable would say that.
I'm above a weight. I get you. I enjoyed that film. Thought it was funny, and the dog was cute. Exactly, Tara. But it's a horror. Not meant to be funny, and it's not meant to be cute.
Well, things can be whatever they want, Peter.
James loves.
I don't love everything, Fuzzy. I do not.
Yeah,
I do not.
You're right, Fuzzy. You are right.
Not true.
X-Files was good because we were normal back then. Nowadays, as we get too many weirdos, it wouldn't hit the same. Absolutely.
Very fair.
Oh, I forgot Billy Connolly was in it. Yeah, I'll have to go back and rewatch it. I think that for me, as a big fan of X-Files, was a 1. And then I didn't go back to it, which should tell you all you need to know about it. Do you know what I mean?
Again, I think like Buffy, I tried X-Files and I didn't gel with it really. So I don't love everything. So there you go, Fuzz.
You don't like X-Files or Buffy. There's something wrong with you. Looks a bit like me, him.
He does, pudgy. He looks a bit younger.
I was talking about the one with glasses, but never mind. Yeah.
So Netflix is doing a Ghostbusters animated movie and TV series. What do you think of this?
I haven't heard anything about this really. I don't think
this is happening.
I knew Netflix was doing an animated series, but I didn't think it was in the style of real Ghostbusters.
A movie now as well. I don't believe it is. They've just said animated Ghostbusters project. So a movie.
So you've just made this slide up, basically, is what you're saying. You're toying with the nostalgia.
Are they or are they not cartoon Ghostbusters?
So the animation of the new series is going to be like this?
No.
It's going to be these characters. It's going to be re-bringing this franchise.
Possibly. I don't know. They haven't announced.
You're just full of shit. You don't know, do you?
So anyway, how do you like a new animated Ghostbusters movie and series?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think I'm Ghostbusted out, I have to be honest.
Okay. I think animation's come a long way. In the last few years, and we've seen a lot of franchises that kind of were not working in live action flip over to animation and do amazing. So like Spider-Man, Transformers, most recently Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think if the movie like is the Ghostbusters in that style, I think that could be great. Like that could be really fun, new, fresh kind of take on it.
Do you know what I think? I'm going to tell you. I think the way forward should be shorter animation with a bit of time and effort put into it, because I've watched that secret level.
Yeah.
Some of them are like 5 minutes, some of them are 15 minutes.
Some
The
of them
Mega
are
Man,
dog shit.
yeah, the Mega Man one just happened and it was finished. But some of them are absolutely superb. Loved them. And then I watched the first episode of What If, and I thought, this is just not for me. So I don't know if smaller, shorter bursts work better for my attention span, I think.
Well, Blur, like the secret level's made by Blur, which is like, you know, one of the most impressive. Blur is the name of the studio. Like as their pedigree, like they started in kind of video game trailers, like just amazing CG, and they moved to Love and Death and Robots, and now Secret Level. So I think it's an unfair comparison to make there, but yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like do like almost like Ghostbusters shorts, like 10, 11 minutes or something like that. That could be cool.
Yeah. Which episodes didn't you like of Secret Level?
I've only watched 2. I watched the Concord one, which was pretty good. But the one I was most excited for, the PlayStation one, I hated.
Why?
Because it was just like like the PlayStation stuff in it was just like product placement. It wasn't like a story about PlayStation. It was like it's like in this weird future where these people have little robots with them, and there's this courier. And she's just getting chased by hell divers and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't feel anything.
What a miserable twat.
Sorry.
Fuzzy fun fact time. Go on. Chocolate bar. Whisper. One of my favourites. Was first launched in Newcastle in 1983. I did not know that, Fuzzy. See, all the good things come from the Northeast. I like a fuzzy. I like a fuzzy. I like a whisper.
Fuzzy. I like a fuzzy too.
I do like a fuzzy. Evil Dead Burn.
This is exciting. So the script for Evil Dead, the newest Evil Dead movie, is written, and we have a title. Evil Dead Burn is written by and directed by Sebastian Vanisek, who is a French director. I've not heard of any of his movies. So you had one just came out last year called. I have it here.
I have it here. It's a funny name for it.
I have it here. It's not called I Have It Here. It is called Infested. So I think it's like a kind of zombie, like a Descent zombie monster kind of thing. Apparently it's amazing. Like it was getting like pound ores and stuff like that. So yeah, very good, strong pedigree on this director. What do you think the title? Because like Evil Dead Rise, it was because it was in a high rise building. Do you think this will be like Firefighters or something like that?
I haven't got a clue. No idea. You're saying that he's got a good pedigree. I've never heard of him. We've only heard of one of his films, and I've not ever heard of that. So I was hoping the guy who did the last one was going to be doing it.
Well, funny that would make a good segue into the next slide. But no, he's he'll come back. But there's 2 Evil Dead projects, so this guy's doing one, and there's I think a Finnish director doing the other one. So like I'm happy with. Throw the series around to different people and see what they come out with, and almost do like a anthology kind of thing.
Yeah, I do. Franchise, I do like that. The only danger with that is these days it just takes one dud film and you fuck the franchise. Do you know what I mean? So I would like to have seen or heard of some of the stuff that he's done.
I think like Lee Cronin, who did the last film. I knew him because he's Irish, so he's a big deal here.
You just know each other. Yeah. It's a small town.
I actually have met him, funny enough. Yeah. But I just knew him because I liked his last film. But like you've never heard of him and you've never seen it. But if you're a French horror fan, you probably know who this guy is. Like he's probably really well renowned. So like and like a bit of new flair to it. Like sounds interesting. So like I'm excited to see what he does here. Yeah. I think this will look really good. I think when we start seeing stuff from it, it's gonna be like, ooh, this looks fucking cool as shit.
When's it due out?
2026. So I'd say probably April. So
I'm happy to see anything in the Evil Dead universe. To be honest, I really enjoyed the last movie. So yeah, be pretty cool. I haven't got a slide for it later on, but one of the most gory bit, or the bit that set me off on the last Evil Dead movie, is the bit with the cheese grater.
I don't think it was as bad in the movie as.
So the reason I'm saying that is I watched a film the other night with my son, with the guy from It. And it was called Boy versus World, or Boy Kills World, or something.
Yeah.
Bizarre film where basically he's deaf and can't speak, and his voice inside like a video game voice. But there's a full sequence with him with a cheese grater taking out a load of people in a kitchen, and it's one of the
Yeah.
most things I've ever seen. It was
I've heard it's good.
superb.
It's on Netflix or Amazon now, isn't it? Like one of them.
One of those. Yeah, because I didn't pay for it. We watched it. It was on
I missed it in
one
the
of
cinema.
its
I remember my mate wanted to see it.
I'm glad I didn't see it in the cinema, because normally I go with my wife and she would have like, what the shit is this? Because it's very strange, but it's a good movie. It's well worth checking out.
It's the guy that plays Archer plays the voice in his head, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's fun. I like that.
Some good actors in it as well. It's good.
Yeah,
some good fun. I am excited about this, mate.
Speaking of Lee Cronin, his new movie has been announced. So he was teasing a few months ago, about like his new project with Blumhouse, and now we know it is The Mummy. So this is the Universal team up with Blumhouse for this. Fantastic choice, fantastic director. Like, you know, a really scary take on The Mummy. Like, fucking, I'm geared to see that.
So I was reading something about this, and they said it was going to go like full tilt, full on horror version of The Mummy, which I think would be tremendous. It's a while since we've had like a good mummy film. Mummy seems to have moved into the realms of, it went out of horror and it went almost Indiana Jones kind of
exactly.
stuff.
You know what I mean? And I when they announced like the Dark Universe, I was excited about like, let's give us a spooky mummy movie, and then we just got Tom Cruise like Mission Impossible kind of fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then like I like the Brendan Fraser ones, but they're not like The Mummy. You know, they're action adventure Indiana Jones, Uncharted kind of films, and they're great at that. But
the first one started out, it had some pretty horrific scenes in, like the beetles eating people and stuff like that, but it wasn't horror. And then they got sillier and sillier. Terry's just saying Sebastian has done one full film, Infested, and 3 shorts. Worth checking out that Infested. That might be interesting for what to watch before we're going.
When that comes around.
Thanks for that, Terry. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited by this. I think this will be cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. And just like I'm happy, like the Invisible Man was incredible. Wolfman looks really great, and I think that's probably going to be really great as well. So like, yeah, give us a fucking amazing new version of The Mummy. Do you want to see this like set in modern day, or like
modern
is there
day?
Like a period you want to see?
Nah, modern day. That can't be chewed with period pieces. I'd rather have a modern day one. I've heard some questions where people quite enjoy. I'm sure I saw a movie a while ago, Fuzzy, that was on like when I was younger on Channel 4, something like that, late night browsing as you used to do as a young man, and there was something with a rather upsetting scene with a cheese grater and someone's gentleman bits. So yeah, I think you're right, mate.
God.
Yeah. Saw that as well. Fuzzy.
We were just talking about this the other night because I'm a very big fan of the artist for it, Faith Erin Hicks, who did The Last of Us, American Dreams. So I'll pick that up. I like her work.
God, you remember Eurotrash? That was my go-to show in the late night.
Oh crap! I remember that show. I remember I used to stay up late and like watch it and like be waiting for my parents to come in and turn it off. That was a weird era, wasn't it? Television.
Yeah. Very strange show, that one. Very strange show. Anyway, I don't know what I think about
this is so out of left field. So we're getting an Anaconda reboot, and it is starring Jack Black and Paul Rudd, and it's basically they play. They don't play themselves, do they? They play like they're playing characters. I assume. Are they playing themselves?
I don't know if they play themselves. Basically, the concept of the movie is they've gone to film Anaconda,
a remake,
haven't they? Yeah, so they're making a remake. So I don't know if it's going to be like a tongue-in-cheek. They play themselves, but they're not playing themselves. If that makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah, well, like you could. That seems too meta for me. Like just like Jack Black plays himself in a.
Well, I don't know that it works very well in like Ricky Gervais's extras. Do you know what I mean? You've got some big actors in there playing.
True. I do like things, but this is like a pre-established franchise. So this is a very weird. Like this is very kind of Wes Craven New Nightmare. I suppose it would work for that, I guess. But like. It's such a bizarre. So like they go and they're filming a remake and then they get attacked by a giant snake.
Could be fun, could be dog shit. As far as he says, I hate Jack.
Sorry, go on.
I hate Jack Black. He's hit that spot where I just want to slap him. Fuzzy, we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that later on. I mean, James has modelled his entire look on him, but you know we are going to come back to that.
I've seen him live. I love Tenacious D as well. R.I.P. because they're broken up. Trap of Thunder, yeah. This is directed by the guy who did Unbearable Weight and Massive Talent, which is a fantastic movie. So that's got me a bit more excited for it. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about whether they play themselves or they're just characters in it, but
gonna be interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a one that I would necessarily rush to the cinema to see, but we'll see. We'll see what the trailers look like when it comes out.
Yeah.
Ooh, 28
So
years later.
yeah, so I didn't realize that this is the first part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nia DaCosta has been hired to direct the second movie. It's going to be called The Bone Collector. Now, in the trailer, we're talking about the trailer in a bit, but yeah, there seems to be some kind of like bone cult or something in that movie. There's a lot of shots of like kind of shrines made out of bones and stuff like that. So like, yeah, I'm curious. That sounds very interesting. Nia DaCosta, I love as a director. I thought she did the Candyman reboot from a few years ago, which is fantastic. Like one of the best kind of horror movies the last few years, I think. So yeah, great pedigree. Curious to see what she does with this as she puts her flair into it.
Yeah. We're going to touch on this again a little bit later on, but yeah, I'm excited to see that one.
Now, I'm going to have to run in a bit of a circle to excuse why I put this in. So Naughty Dog is the developers of The Last of Us and Uncharted. I'm a very big fan. And The Last of Us is a horror game, and this is their next game. So that's why I'm talking about it, Peter. In case you're wondering why. It's got some spooky vibes to it, I think, a little bit.
Has it shite? You made us watch the trailer. Has it shite?
So this is now something I haven't had a chance to talk about this on any show.
I know, but the last show, remember, and the show before that, I said, why are we sneaking computer game stuff in here? And you're like, this is literally nothing to do with horror.
As Naughty Dog made The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a horror IP. This is the next game.
It's that's the link. That's the link.
That's the link.
Yeah, got you.
The robots look spooky. So this is Naughty Dog has announced their new IP. So this is the first new franchise since The Last of Us in 2013. So it's been a long time coming. Their last game was The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020. So so it's called Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, and it is kind of like a retro futuristic sci-fi thing. There's a lot of like alien vibes in it. I think a little bit of Blade Runner. It's apparently inspired by like anime, sort of like Akira and Cowboy Bebop and stuff. I love everything about this. I think this looks amazing. I'm a really big fan of the actress that stars in this, Tati Gabrielle. So she was in the Uncharted movie. She's going to be in Mortal Kombat 2, and she's also going to be in The Last of Us Season 2 as well. So she's playing the lead character who's like a bounty hunter there's like little hints in the trailer, but she's looking for like former members of a gang she used to be in, and she's kind of like tracked one of them to this planet. Nobody's ever left the planet in like 600 years or something like that, so she goes down to get him, and it looks awesome, I think. What do you think?
That's that guy from the Inhumans movie as well, isn't it?
Kumail Nanjiani is in it. Yeah, it looks like the Lalo. You've never seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, no? Sorry, Swordsman from Hawkeye. Remember the?
Oh yes, yeah,
he's in it as well. Yeah,
I'm going to be really honest with you, James. This trailer, if anybody goes and watches it, it's a good few minutes long, isn't it? Is it
3 or 4 minutes? Yeah,
3 or 4 minutes or something. The screen James has got at the bottom there is literally the only bit of gameplay you see. The rest of it's this woman talking to her agent or whatever. I have to be honest. The animation looked great. There were times when I was watching it thinking, is this CGI or are these real people? I'm not quite sure if this is real or not. But bored the living tits off us, I have to say. I just thought it was the word. If this was a trailer, I would have switched off pretty quickly. I just found it dull. So yeah, not for me. The game itself might be great, but I don't know.
It's a tone piece. It's like just to get you the vibes, the moodiness, you know. Like I think it looks really cool. I think like the combat, like we see her with this kind of like music seems to play a big role in it. So she like even the retro future thing, like she has like a CD. It's kind of, you know, like Alien is like what the future would look like to someone from the 70s. This is like from the 90s. So she has like a CD player, but she has this like kind of like her sword looks a bit like a keyboard or kind of like a wave form kind of thing. So like that looks awesome, like a laser sword thing fighting robots. I'm like, fuck yeah, like give me this. I can't wait for this. This is gonna be great.
Yep. Moving on.
Okay, so big news. Patrick Bateman. Austin Butler has been cast as Patrick Bateman in the new American Psycho movie. Not a remake, it's a new adaptation of the book. What do you think?
I think he's a tremendous actor. I really do. I think I've seen him in a fair bit of stuff, and he's got that kind of intensity. I don't know whether I needed a remake of this. I have to be honest. I think American Psycho is pretty near perfect. It's a long time since I've watched it, and I'd like to watch it on the channel at some point. But from memory, it's a pretty brilliant book. So I don't know if this is needed, but like I say, he's a phenomenal actor, I think. So yeah, I'm optimistic for this one, I think.
I think like the director has a really good pedigree. He just has a new movie out that's everyone's raving about. What's it called? Queer.
Oh yeah.
Daniel Craig one. And Bones and all he did. People really like the Challengers as well. Call Me by Your Name. So like really strong. Like so, I think he obviously has a vision for this. Like and he wants to do it. So I'm sure there'll be a really like you never know. This might end up being the definitive version of this story.
So it's not a remake.
No.
It's just another interpretation of the book.
Yes.
Is that not a remake then?
No. Because a remake would be if you're remaking the movie. The It movie is not a remake of the old It movie. It's a new version of the book story. It's a new adaptation.
Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, I am optimistic about it. I think it'll.
He turned one of my favorite performances of the year was in Dune 2. Like he played one of the villains in that. So I think he's he can do the charming thing. He can do the villain thing. I think he's pretty pitch perfect for this.
Yeah, should be good. Should be good. I'm looking forward to that one. Okie dokie. Comics. Just want to mention this. This is Freddy the Fix by Image Comics. Read this today by Garth Ennis, famous for Punisher work. James, I think you need to get this and read it. It's superb. This is a one-shot, but I'm really, really hoping they're going to do more in this universe. Basic premise is this guy works in Hollywood, and he's like the fixer. So Hollywood producers, when their stars get into shit, do drugs or whatever, they ring him, and he goes and sorts out their issues. The twist in this is, and it's never explained, and it's never addressed in any way, shape, or form, but the movie stars are all monsters. So you've got werewolves and vampires and the union people, like the union bosses, are all creatures of the Black Lagoon. It's just superb. It's absolutely superb. So the werewolf there in the center page has hired a rent boy, and then during sex freaked out and turned into a werewolf and ripped him to shreds.
I like that idea, actually. That's funny.
This panel on the end there just had us howling because this is dinosaurs are real in this universe.
Okay.
And one of them's established a church, and they're having this big argument here about how, one of them's saying, how can you believe in, the Bible and 7 days of creation? You're a friggin' dinosaur. You can't believe in that. You were creatious or whatever. And the dinosaur kind of says, yeah, but I watched this podcast by Joe Rogan, so, it must be true. So it's just stuff like that. Points. Yeah, stuff like that all the way through. It really surprised me. There's some good horror in it. There's some intriguing concepts. Like I say, you get werewolves, vampires, the boogeyman. I want more from this universe. It's a pricey book because it's a one-shot and it's a larger format, I think. Fuzzy's just saying there, 15 quid on eBay, not paying that. It's worth picking up, I think, if you like your kind of your horror and your kind of your funny books as well. Love Garth Ennis's work. It's near the knuckle mind. There's a lot of rude gags like dead bodies.
Garth Ennis is very much in tune with him. So I like Garth Ennis. I think this sounds fun. I might give this a go.
Well worth a read. Well worth a read. Really enjoyed that one, so I recommend people pick that up. Bit of toy news. I know we've talked about this a lot on the channel, but they've adjusted the face, and this figure is now reaching people. So this is the Sideshow Collectibles Beetlejuice. Don't know what I think. I'm not sure what I think of that face.
I hate the hair.
So the hair is better than the prototype. That one, this is someone's actual figure, and they've put a bit of gel on it to try and move it around.
Did they say that they've made adjustments to the second wave of this or something like that?
They've changed the hair color a little bit. Okay. For me, it's the mouth, the teeth. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch that original film. I don't remember him having a bit of a Dwayne Dibley kind of teeth thing going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, yeah, it's very, very weird.
Fuzzy's not
it's a bit like a derp face, isn't it? Like it's
Fuzzy's saying that's tragic. What's tragic, Fuzzy, is I'm waiting on a friggin' bill because I've pre-ordered this. So at some point, I'm going to get a bill through the door to say it's ready to ship.
Do you know what? A lot of the time, when you're like, you have it in your hand, and you're like, oh no, it looks okay. Like, so,
It's all in the posing, I guess, but we'll see.
It looks more like his skin looks more skin colored than I would think. Like I always pictured him as being like black and white in that movie.
Yeah. maybe. I was looking at another review. Sideshow's notorious for quality control issues. And someone's figures come and you see the jacket, the stripes, it's stitched like halfway underneath. So you've got two bits of material attached to make the kind of full sleeve. One half of the sleeve was completely faded. So it looked like dog shit. So it was different colors on the arm. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted. I've never cancelled an order before, but I'm kind of tempted to cancel this one, I have to say.
Would you have to pay anything?
Well, I've already paid a deposit, 40 quid or something. I think Fuzzy's right. It looks like someone cosplaying as Beetlejuice.
I think you'll have it on your shelf and you'll be like, I'm happy with it. Like,
We'll see. I mean, I thought the Ripley was going to look like cack, but actually she looks good. Yeah. So yeah, this is cack. This is Y Studio. Absolutely Y. This is Pennywise 1/6 scale female version of Pennywise. The only thing I like about this is the little Timmy. I think that's spooky.
I thought you were going to say the big gazungas.
No, I'm not. No, with the button eyes and stuff like that, and the missing arm, I think that's pretty creepy. But the rest of it, just awful. Not for me at all.
It's funny because like is it 1/6?
Yeah.
This would be pricey then, I would say, because it looks like it's made of polystyrene or something.
200 or something.
Yeah. I don't get this. Like Kotobukiya does this as well, like sexifying and then gender swapping horror card. I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm sure there's some people like if that's what you're into, fine. Yeah.
What's weird as well, I think, is the sculpted headpiece for the hair and then real hair coming out the side.
That is weird, isn't it? There's like a color disconnect, like
it just looks strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not for me. This is just to appeal to weirdos. I think you're probably right, Fuzzy. It does note for me, I have to say. This is nice. This is Vincent Price Ultimate Action figure. You get a whole host of accessories with him, including a couple of different styles of shirts, 3 different head sculpts. I quite like this. What do you think of this?
I love it. I'm just thinking I could get this and the Elvira, and then have my little like Elvira meets Vincent Price kind of thing going on. I think like the interchangeability of it, like you have all different eras, different characters from different movies. Like that looks fantastic. You know, you have a bit of you can do the Raven, like the Edgar Allan Poe kind of thing if you want to as well. That looks awesome. Is this NECA?
Yeah. This is NECA.
I might have to get this. I've stopped buying like 8-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch, but like this looks very cool. I like this. Yeah.
The box art's lovely as well. So I quite like this. So. I quite like. If I was collecting smaller scale figures, I would have probably. I mean, you could collect small scale figures and go all in on these because there are some great NECA figures.
Well, that's the part. Like I even have like an Ash and a Freddy and Jason, and I'm like trying to get rid of them because I stopped. But like I think, I like the idea of him and Elvira. I would love a 1/6 Vincent Price would be really cool as well. I'd love to see that down the road.
And then this. So this is a bit of a mystery one. This is a 1/6 scale figure. So 1/6 Kit recently put this on his Facebook page, but didn't give any details about it. So I think this is probably it's a third party figure that perhaps hasn't got the license and things, but this is going to be coming soon. I think it's pretty damn stunning. Really, really like it. I think it's got a strong head sculpt. Love the fact you get the pig mask with it. I like this. I like this a lot more than I thought I would. What do you think?
I think the Tobin Bell likeness is like 10% off. It's just there's a bit of a I don't know. It's a little bit off. I think the like pig mask looks great. Billy looks great. So like if you're a Saw fan, this would be an amazing figure. It might just be the angle I'm looking at it from. I think I wish I was a bigger Saw fan. Yeah. Looks cool. Like if you I'm not big enough of a Saw fan to get this. But like it's cool. Happy it exists.
Fuzzy fun horror fact. The first Saw film was completed in just 18 days. Is that right?
Yep.
Wow. Very cool, Fuzzy. I love that first one. There's still the shock of it. You know what I mean?
Gets up off the floor. Yeah. One of the great twists of all time, I think.
Yeah. Dead Man Toby just looks young. Maybe that's what it is, James. Yeah, he does look smooth.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
like myself. Trailers. Okie dokie.
28 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
What you think?
I loved the trailer. I thought the is it a song? Whatever the music is that's going through it, I thought that was really, really strong. It didn't give much away. It kind of gives you glimpses and hints. I think it's genius than putting this particular image in because it got everybody
talking
about it. I really liked it. I'm excited to see what comes next. I really am excited to see what comes next.
I'm loving the vibes. I'm loving how this world's kind of progressed. Like it's at a different stage now, like after this long. And like I think very much the other people will be the main kind of focus rather than like the zombie kind of thing is going to be the background. If anyone missed it, the big kind of talk around the movie was this shot of the trailer where everybody was saying, "Oh, it's going to be this is Cillian Murphy," because like I think people are just saying Cillian Murphy. Look, it does look like Cillian Murphy because Cillian Murphy's a very gaunt man. It turns out it's not. It's like some artist guy who like came out and said, "No, that's me." So it isn't. But people were we were talking about this ourselves a week or so ago about how like it could have been cool to have part of the movie is like Cillian Murphy as a zombie and like potentially like that like that character like zombies maybe evolve in this world like to being more
because they're not really zombies, are they? They're just people.
No, they're just infected. Yeah, they're not dead. Yeah.
So I thought this looked great. I thought it was an excellent trailer, just enough kind of teasing to get us really interested. Not the best trailer I saw this week, but the Superman trailer was just amazing. Have you seen it? Have you watched it?
I have. Looks okay.
Get stuffed.
I'm not super hyped about it.
You don't need to be super hyped about it. I am. The scene where he's saving the young girl and covering her with his body is just everything I needed it to be.
I thought that was great. I think it looks very CW-y. It doesn't have that glam, that like shine. Yeah. And I hate it. But I've seen like a lot of shots just comparing like similar shots in Man of Steel, and Man of Steel looks so much more cinematic. But we'll see when the finished movie. I'm going to reserve judgment until then.
Yeah, looks good. Did you watch this?
I did. This is A24's new movie. This is a horror. It is a horror, I guess.
I mean,
horror comedy.
Yeah, this is Death of a Unicorn. This totally took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this at all. Basic premise of the trailer is a family hit a unicorn on the way to a retreat, take the unicorn to the home or the wherever it is they're going to, and basically they grind it up and they use it to the horn up to make medicines and things like that. And then it's family of the unicorn's parents or whatever come and attack. The thing that blew my mind was just the cast is just phenomenal. I mean, Madam Secretary. Have you seen that show, Madam Secretary?
I haven't, but
I love her. Absolutely love her.
Will Poulter is awesome.
Hilarious, isn't it?
Is awesome. Jenna Ortega is the lead.
He's playing Jenna Ortega, But you've also got what do you call him? Richard E. Grant.
Yes, yeah.
In it, it was funny. The trailer made us laugh. And then you had some pretty dodgy horror-y bits that made us think, oh, this looks a little bit like Poorverse kind of thing.
Well, I think, when you say like a slasher movie with a unicorn, that I would think like that's how I would imagine. But it's coming from A24. They very much did hype up like that. This is the Everything Everywhere All at Once team, and I think it does have not team, but the makers of that. Yeah. But it does have that kind of like a reverent vibe to it. Which I dig. Like I think it looks very funny. I think that there could be some good horror. I think I'm getting a bit of a Cocaine Bear vibe off of it. Which is I love. A really underrated movie. I really love that one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this looks like a lot of fun.
I love it when we get a movie comes completely left field. I mean, I don't remember seeing anything really about this or anything, and then the trailer hits, and the trailer was spot on. Terry's just saying, didn't that look like she broke her neck, though? I don't think it did, Terry. I think it just shows him covering her, which I just love. I saw someone, I don't know if it came directly from James Gunn or if it was from somebody else, but they said this movie is about trying to bring people or show people that kindness and hope still matter. And I thought, you know what? That's exactly right. the upside to that, or the other side to that, is that Superman doesn't crack a smile in the entire trailer, which is a bit interesting. So I think it's going to be quite an emotional movie, which I think will have a few punches in terms of the world we're in today.
Okay, can we get back to our horror thing, please?
No. It's amazing how anti-Superman gang says the guy who's talking computer games.
Well, that's the thing. You're being a bit fucking hypocritical here.
It's amazing how the anti-Superman gang have taken the place of the anti-vaxxers. They're just as easy to spot and avoid. Absolutely fuzzy. There's some violent... I can't remember the name of the film director, but there was somebody... Oh, who's the guy who did Suicide Squad, James? The
first one, David Ayer.
David Ayer. He's campaigning to do the Ayer cut or whatever. And he knew that his latest campaign was coming out the same day as the trailer, so he put something on his socials saying, please don't promote my stuff today because I want people to enjoy and just focus on Superman.
Yep.
And he was absolutely ripped to shreds on social media. How dare you support this travesty, and you should be supporting Henry Cavill and blah, blah, blah. So much so that he's gone off social media. I just think that's shite. Absolute shite.
Man.
Anyway, moving on. Look at the game.
We skipped the slides, Peter.
No, we didn't.
Fuck, I put it in the wrong spot. I am. Okay, yeah, sorry. So, the Midnight Winter Club. So this is yes, it is game. But why are you so anti-game? Why it's a whole medium? Like you talk about comics and I don't give you shit, even though I don't fucking care.
Horror comics,
like
horror.
You know, yeah, horror game. So this is Midnight Winter Club. This is I saw a trailer for this at the Game Awards last week, and I'd never heard of it, but it's coming. It was announced a few months ago, but it had a beta the last week, and it's out in February. But I had to go with the beta, and I really liked it. It's a lot of fun. So it's basically the setup is it's 6-player multiplayer. So it's a first-person game. You're in a spooky mansion, and you have just a flashlight and a gun. And the mansion is pitch black, so you can turn your flashlight on and off. So basically, it's like a hide and seek kind of cat and mouse thing with the other players, where if you go around with your flashlight on, people are going to see you and they're going to kill you. But so you have to kind of like in the darkness skulk around, like turn your flashlight on really quickly and turn it off before anyone sees. Like it's so atmospheric. It's like actually really scary to play. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really like certain things it does. Like there's if someone's talking in their microphone, if they're like in another room in the game, it sounds like a person's voice in the other room. Like I thought that was really cool as well. So you can almost use that to your benefit. You can like whistle, say, to call someone into the room. Yeah, there's like things you can set traps and stuff like that. But like it's just so atmospheric. Like you're in the thing, you can like just see. You might see a flashlight coming down the hall, and you know somebody's coming, or like you hear gunshots from the other room with 2 other players. Fighting. So there's like different game modes. I only played the free-for-all one, and the beta's ended now, so it's out in February. I really want to play this on the channel because it's really fun. It's really cool. So like yeah, I dig this.
You got to pay for it, or is it a free download one?
You have to pay for it. It'll probably be like 10 or 15, 20 quid, I would say. So like I think it'd be worth it. Like we could do a setup and play it together. It's very cool.
Sounds cool. That's that one. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. I did watch the trailer for it. It looked interesting. It looked canny. But of Strange Things.
So we're in our reviews segment now. I've caught up on Stranger Things. So I blasted through season 2, 3, and 4. I thought this was fantastic. Like I really felt just stellar. Like season 4, the kind of Nightmare on Elm Street vibes of it. I just absolutely love. I think Vecna's a really cool villain. You know, some of the moments I'd seen a lot of this done to death. Like I'd seen the Max lifted in the air, the running up the hill thing, or like Eddie with the guitar. But like I still think there was a lot of like surprises. There was like particularly a bit where someone's ordered pizza. They're like trying to sneak out of the house with like cops in the thing, and they order a pizza, and the like pizza shows up and the door opens, and the guy just opens fire on them. Like I thought that was really just such a cool moment. So yeah, I yeah, absolutely loved it. I'm happy I got to watch it all in one go, and now season 5 is like in the next few months. So like I'm happy I caught up. It's great.
Huge fan of this show. I thought the last season was probably one of the best seasons of TV I've ever seen. I think it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. I just love it. Absolutely. I don't know how they're going to... I think you're right. I think Vecna was one of the best villains you could have. I don't know how they're going to top that.
He is the villain in this season too.
Yeah, but you know, he's lost his initial scare, I guess. I think Do you know what I mean? That kind of reveal and stuff. Those scenes initially with the bones breaking and the people hovering, I think in the first episode, oh my God.
I do think at the end of the last episode, a thing happens to a character, and they should have gone further with it. Yeah. I think like they sort of kind of do a thing and then pull back on that, and I'm like, no, you should have just let that would have been really impactful if you just let that ride, So that's my only kind of critique. It'll be a flashback. It'll be like a vision or something like that. But like I thought he was great. Another I thought stand out of the show, like just the other seasons, was Billy. Is Billy the character, the Max's brother? Yeah, he was awesome as well. Like I really loved him. So like just a great. I see why everyone was raving about Eddie in particular. Just such lovable characters, I think.
Brilliant show. Not heard of this.
Okay, I'm just going to take a moment to say, Jeff, you're welcome, because he has shat on about, my mate Jeff has shat on about this movie for God knows how long. He's like as if it's the best thing ever. So finally, I was in his house the other day and we watched this, and I thought it was really good. It's so the concept of it. It's the lead character is a college student who works in the cinema, and this customer comes in and they start this kind of weird, awkward flirtation, and then they like start going out together, like texting a lot, and then they start going out together. So the movie is basically about like modern dating and like how people may not be who they say they are, I guess, So like cat person refers to the fact that he says he has cats, and like there's a moment in the movie where she thinks maybe he doesn't have cats, and that kind of element. So it's like it's a horror. It sort of starts out as a weird kind of like almost like a rom-com thing, and then it evolves into horror, but it's not like as straightforward as like he's just a murderer or anything like that. But it was really thought-provoking. Like, I think that it opens with a quote that was like men are worried that women will laugh at them, women are worried that men are going to murder them. I think that's kind of the, it's a lot about like perspective about how like something can happen, and depending on if you're the man or the woman in the relationship, it might seem sinister or not. And that was some really interesting ideas in it. So I would really strongly recommend checking this one out. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's done on the 26th.
What's she been off again? I recognize her.
I looked her up and I can't remember. She looks like a couple of other actresses as well. Like she looks a bit like Ella Purnell or I can't remember. But she was very good. The guy there gives like one of the best like awkward creep like kind of performances. Nice. I think like there's a lot of cringy moments like from him. I thought that was great. So
might watch this one with my wife. She might like this one. So,
I think so. Like I think it's a lot of intrigue. It's got a lot of great twists and turns, and you walk away from the movie going, oh, and you're kind of still thinking about it because it's like it's unexpected. So check
good
it
stuff.
Out. I recommend it.
Good stuff. Check that one out. Ooh, okay. So we talked about this, I think it was the last episode where we looked at Christmas-based horror movies. And we talked about this one, a Christmas horror story, which neither of us had seen.
I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it now?
I had seen it already.
Oh.
I told you I'd seen it.
Oh, right, okay.
I just saw it so long ago, I couldn't remember.
Okay, right. So this is with William Shatner in it, which is what got me intrigued. So I spotted that it was on Netflix or something like that, I can't remember. And I sat down and watched it. I friggin' loved this. I thought this was great fun. I thought it was silly. I thought it was some proper horror in it. I liked the way the anthology tale played out. There's some good twists in it. William Shatner is perfectly cast. Because he doesn't have to move. He can just sit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he was
as William Shatner does best.
Yeah. I just thought this was great. Now it looks silly, and it is silly at points, and I would argue for a couple of the stories, the setup is better than perhaps the kind of the conclusion to the tales. The Santa versus Krampus, I thought, was probably the standout bit. I loved that tale.
That was what triggered, seeing a shot of that is what triggered it for me. Like of them,
Yeah. So yeah, really, really worth watching if you get the opportunity. Can you remember it, James, or not?
Literally, I couldn't remember if I had seen it, and then I saw a shot of the Santa. I think he's like going through the warehouse or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely seen this. So like, I don't remember anything else from it. Like I must have watched it back when it came out or like the year after.
Worth watching again if you've got a spare hour or two. It is worth watching again. Good fun, just silly fun. In fact, I can always tell if a horror is entertaining story wise by the fact that my son and my wife will watch them with us. So I was watching this just for the show, really.
Yeah.
And Thomas ended up sat watching because he walked past and was intrigued, and then Lorna ended up watching it, and then the buggers wanted to watch it with us, so I was trying to get it finished, but they were popping out and just stop it while we're going to do this. So it got them interested, which is always a good sign, I think.
I'll give it a rewatch.
So kind of horror related. This is Dear Santa. This is Jack Black's latest one. I said earlier to Fuzzy that we're going to briefly touch on it. This is where a young lad...
Is it called Dear Santa or Dear Satan?
I think it's called Dear Santa. I don't think it says Satan in the title, but that's what it's... I can't remember. But this is on, again, one of the streaming platforms, Jack Black's latest film. I sat to watch this with my son. We got about 10 minutes in, and I wanted to poke my eyes out and then poke my son's eyes out. Some of the worst... And I do apologize. Please don't get upset online people. Some of the worst child acting I've seen in my entire life. Just awful script, awful things. We're going to switch it off. And Thomas said, no, let's persevere. Let's wait until Jack Black appears in it and see if he saves it. Nah, absolutely not. Got about 5 minutes into Jack Black being in it and just thought, this is horrific.
Did you turn it off? And
we did. We switched it off. Yeah, it was just.
Maybe it comes around by the end. I'm very reluctant to turn things off after, if I don't like it. I'm just like, maybe it comes back.
No,
I couldn't have walked out of a movie in the cinema.
I couldn't have watched this anymore without killing somebody. So no, it's just awful, absolutely awful.
I did, when the trailer came out for this, I thought it looked interesting. Like, I liked the idea, but I saw reviews that were just horrendous, and I was like, nah.
Love the idea, but it's just. Do you know what? And to be fair, Jack Black maybe could save it, but the kid acting is just awful in it. Awful. And do you know what? Has anybody, let us know. I'll come back to your commentary. Let us know if anybody has watched this, and I'll tell you why. Because it sounds awful. I'm a horrible, horrible person. I'm going to get cold for Christmas. One of the child actors in it has got the most horrific teeth. Like a proper, he looks like a cartoon character, like Rude Dog and the Dweebs.
That's a bit rude.
Well, it is terrific. And I kind of...
No, not of them to have that teeth, Peter. I
commented on it twice to Thomas, and he says, well, obviously, Dad, at some point in the movie,
his teeth get
Santa's going to save his teeth that are prosthetic or something like that. Okay. I don't know if they were. I don't know if this kid
just had teeth like that.
Just horrendously disabled. Anyway, Terry's asking, did you watch Lock and Key? Yeah, I did, mate.
She's the lead actress. Sorry,
Terry, go read the Lock and Key series of books. Far superior to the TV show. Brilliant series. I watched this. I've managed to catch up in a fair bit.
How was it?
Voyage. Have you not seen it?
No. It never came out in cinemas. I was looking forward to it coming out in cinemas.
So this
it just never came out.
On I want to say Amazon. I had to pay for it, £3.50 or something. Last Voyage of Demeter. I absolutely loved this. I did love it. This tells the tale of Dracula's ship and its way to England. The horror in it is great. It's scary. It's atmospheric. I love the cast. It's got the guy who we like from Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, the main guy.
Yeah.
David Desmalkian?
Yes, he's in it.
Is he in it? I didn't realize
he's one of the main characters in it.
Okay.
Do you know where it's let down? Shitty CGI. Not shit. No, it's not shitty CGI. The CGI is pretty good and pretty effective. But it's so dark and so atmospheric, they could have quite easily had a bloke in a suit play this. Okay. And then every time you see because the creature is fully CGI, I think, all the way through it. I don't think there's any practical effects. Every time you kind of see it up close, you just think, it's lost a bit of realism here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you ever see him turn into just normal Dracula, like normal human?
No,
Dracula?
It's really... Well, sorry. No. Do you? Not normal Dracula. This version of Dracula looks like that all the time. So there's a bit...
He's Count Dracula. Like this is like based on a very specific segment of the book where he's shipped from Transylvania to London. Yeah. So like it wouldn't make any like this whole setup wouldn't happen if he wasn't like a human-esque at some point.
So there's a scene at the very end where you see him in what you would class as traditional Count Dracula kind of clothing and garbs, but he's still got that kind of face on him. because it leads it for a sequel, I think.
Okay. But
whether
then,
they make a
the
sequel or not.
would just be Dracula. Like, it would just be the London segment of Dracula, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Worth watching. It is worth watching. Really, really worth watching. Because, I enjoyed it. I just wish, like I say, they'd gone practical effects. Dead Man is saying, I've never been a fan of Jack Black, so it's not something I would watch. Yeah, I like Jack Black, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Just Googled the name. I'm not seeing Lock Key. Worth reading the books, bud. So yeah, James, I'd recommend you pick that one up and watch it because there's some good.
I've been meaning. It's on the list. I've been meaning to.
Yeah. That got us in a vampire mood. So I went back and watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I've watched years and years and years ago, but I haven't watched for a long, long time. Have you watched it recently?
Yes, I watched it about a year ago. I think was the last time I watched it. Again, I was in a Dracula mood. I don't know why.
I found it really, really, really cack.
No.
Do you know what?
This is fantastic.
It is shit.
This is
it is
stellar.
not. It's
this
not.
is like the definitive Dracula.
No, there's some great performances in it. Gary Oldman is stunning. There are some great special effects, particularly like when he turns from wolf into rats and his eyes disappear and all the rest of it. The acting in it and some of the effects and things just look dreadful. I found it a slog to get through. I really did.
I think I will agree that there are some miscastings. I think Keanu Reeves just should not be in this movie.
Oh, he's awful.
Absolutely
awful.
Yeah, and this is where he gets the reputation as being a bad actor. I think Winona Ryder is not awful, but not great. Like, just again, a miscasting. But Gary Oldman is just fucking stellar. And who's it as Anthony Hopkins, isn't it? As Van Helsing? Yeah, phenomenal. Like, there's just some amazing moments in it, like when he's
but that's the point.
The girl in the courtyard and stuff, like, it's just just think it's great moments, but just
that's the point for me.
Is not great.
Yeah, there are some great moments. The story's there because it's a classic. It's Bram Stoker's Dracula. But the acting in between the great moments just destroys. Anytime Count Dracula's not on screen, it's a bit of a letdown because you're listening to just shoddy acting.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
There was a point. I mean, it's directed, I think, by, is it Francis Ford Coppola who I think did it?
Yeah.
There was a point where I had to go back and check, and this is maybe a positive or a negative. It depends on how much you enjoyed. But I wanted to check and see if Tim Burton had anything to do with this because it felt like almost at times his wacky kind of gothic kind of. It was just.
Well, it is.
Just
it's Gothic London, like it's.
I know, but do you know what I mean? It was very Tim Burton-esque at points. I found it disappointing. I have to be honest. Batman, the same, probably Coppola's worst movie.
It's very horny, I think, as well. Like, it's a super erotic movie. There's a lot of sex in it.
I didn't need to see a werewolf banging a woman on a stone pillar.
That's what happens in the books, man. Like, that's how it is. It's a horny book. I think, obviously, like, Universal Monsters Dracula is like when people think Dracula, that's what you think. But like, if you want like an adaptation of the book, like, this is it. This is the book on screen. I think there's also, like, visually, like, if you watch some of the behind the scenes of how they did some of the like, almost everything in this movie is in camera. Like, there's barely any special effects, like, outside of, like, it's all prop work and like retro, like, rear projection and stuff like that. Like, it really is amazing how they made it. Like,
yeah, I feel really bad. Just search the kid up. Yeah, you could eat an apple through a tennis racket.
So Fuzzy, just out of curiosity, what did you type in? I want to see this kid.
So it's not. It's not. Oh dear God!
I wonder if I type in. I typed in "Dear Santa T," and the first thing that came up was "Dear Santa Teeth Real?" ?
Really? So it's not just me. That's good to know. And he doesn't get them changed in the movie. Hopefully, he's made a bit of money and he can get something.
I don't see any. Oh. Yeah, they are fake. Yeah, I assume later in the movie he gets a. Well, show the people what
he's like that Harry Enfield, Tim Nice, but
it's good. Yeah.
Does it say the fake? Does it say?
Oh, there's a picture of the actor who's normal teeth. So like, yeah, it's a.
Okay, right. Okay.
Like, I'm not being funny, but you're not putting that kid on the screen, like, and they're not addressing it. Like, if he got those kind of teeth, So like, yeah.
Because he says his name's Jaden Carson Baker. Wow. Yes. Okay, moving on. So yeah, let us know in the comments. Bat Dan's commented there, but let one in the comments if you've seen Dracula recently and what you thought of it, because I think this would be a good one to do for one good scare.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to go into about it as well. Like I think you could dissect this scene for scene nearly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I've done these out of order, but this is the sequence of the movies. I've watched both of the 28 movies recently. I watched 28 Weeks Later first because this wasn't actually available to download or get anywhere at the time, but I've since rewatched it. Just the trailer got us pumped, so I thought I would go back and rewatch them because these are both films that I've not seen for years and years and years. Have you seen them recently?
I haven't watched 28 Days Later for probably 15 years or something like that. Weeks, I think I saw about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Like, it's been a while.
So, Days, really, really enjoyed. Thought it was atmospheric. I thought the performances were superb. I think it takes a really weird jump at the end. I kind of wish the whole end bit, the military installation, didn't happen because that just felt shite to me. I don't know if you remember, James. Basically, they come across this.
I remember soldiers, and then they're gonna
head to the outpost
with the girl, isn't it?
Then they head to this outpost, which is good. And then it's what you call him, Eccleston. It's Christopher Eccleston. I always find his acting a bit dodgy, but anyway, it's Christopher Eccleston. And I guess the bit that I really struggled with is you've got this house full of soldiers, very senior ranks in the military, a major, I think he is, and a sergeant. And we're 4 weeks since the kind of the outbreak. And they've just decided that they're all happy with, well, most of them are happy with kidnapping and raping women. And it's like, really? After 4 weeks, humanity has fallen that quickly? In 4 weeks that you've decided, let's just abandon everything and bang this kid, because one of them's a child. You know, it just felt a bit, really, that was a stretch too far for me, I think.
I was going to jump in with a crass joke, but I better not.
Yeah, don't be dirty.
No, I agree. I think it's a bit far. Well, there's bad people. A lot of bad people.
Yeah, but that's, you happen to find 5, 6 people who are willing to do that.
Well, I think I always wonder when, like, kind of gang crimes happen. Like, not gang like gangsters, like gang like, when like 5 or 6 people collude to do a thing. Like rob a bank or kidnap someone or murder somebody. Like, who brings that up first? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you find those people? Like, I don't get it. No, I agree. I think that's fair. But I did never really... I was always so horrified at it because I saw that movie really young. I think that's one of the first, like, post-apocalypse movies I've ever seen. That sequence, like, just horrified me. I remember as a kid. Like, very good. Do that. Like, that was the most barbaric thing I'd ever seen on screen. Like, at that point.
And I like the fact that we're not talking zombies. We're talking basically a rage virus, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. Dead Man saying he's got 2 films still sealed in the box. Worth checking out, Terry, because they've never re-released 28 Days Later. That's part of the problem. It's so hard to come across. So they've actually re-released it digitally for the first time in years because of the renewed interest this last week or so. So yeah. Now I watched this second. I watched this one first, which is a 28 Weeks Later. It's good. Didn't like it as much as the first one. I thought the first one was
not as good as the first one. I think,
far better. And I tell you what I didn't like more. This one has got lots of chase sequences, great stuff, and like I loved all that. This one goes into that kind of modern, I guess you'd say, camera work where the camera's jumping all over the place, and I just found it really hard to concentrate on what was happening because the camera was just everywhere.
It was the style at the time, 2008. That's what people did. That shaky kind of shaky cam thing.
Yeah, I didn't. It was still good. Don't get us wrong. Robert Carlyle is great in it, but not as good as the first one, I think, in my humble opinion. Didn't realize Jeremy Renner was in it. That was quite a nice surprise. I'd forgotten he was in there. And I like the way it ended with it kind of being seen that they've infected Paris. So that was really cool. So yeah, left us really clamoring for more in this universe. Interested to see where they go with this. But Dan, very uncomfortable seeing her watching the cinema with the missus. She wasn't happy. Yeah, in the first one, there's a dodgy bit where she basically drugs the kid so she doesn't feel what's about to happen to her. It's like, this is really dark all of a
Oh,
sudden.
it's horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, that's the end of we're blurb about movies and trailers we watched recently. Well, I haven't really got an end of show section, but what I thought we'd do is look a little bit at 2025 and what we are looking forward to. First things first, this is a little list of some of the movies that we know are coming out in 2025. There are a whole host more horror movies, but these are some of the
That's the
big
thing about
ones.
horror movies. A lot of time you don't know about it until the trailer. You see the trailer for it, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
oh, it's out next month. You know, like so. There's going to be a lot of surprise, kind of like cool shit next month. But these are the big tentpole ones anyway.
So go through them one by one. Just quickly, Nosferatu. I think both you and I are very excited to see this. I think this is going to be amazing. Amazing
Stellar,
cast.
yeah. And I'm really digging that we got that like a Dracula thing, and then the Wolfman right after that. So I think like throwing like a Universal monster thing maybe in the middle of that for I'll Be Right Back. That'd be really cool. Yeah, the monkey is Osgood Perkins' next film. I think I'm seeing that early because Cineworld is doing a super
Based on Stephen King short, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Cineworld's doing a secret screening on the 27th of January. So I'm assuming it's that because I don't see any other horror movies around then. So like that, yeah, the Stephen King monkey, with the bloody
the trailer for that's really good. I like the
it
trailer.
also looks really cool. It's that guy that looks like James Franco, but it's not James Franco.
Yeah.
I like him. So that looks really good. Yet 28 years later, it's gonna be great. Megan 2.0, cool. The Conjuring is Conjuring Last Rites, I think it's called. So that's the final Conjuring movie. Saw 11. The Bride is
What's
that
The Bride? I don't know
that's
that
the
one.
Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh yes, yeah.
We've seen some photos of it. Is it Christian? Fuck. Last name is escaping me. I don't know why. All I have in my head is Christian Slater.
Bale.
Christian Bale. Thank you. Yeah, as Dracula or as Frankenstein is known. So like, we've seen some pictures of that. Black Phone 2. Very curious what that's going to be.
Yeah, big fan of the Black Phone, particularly the story. I enjoy the book more than the movie, but the movie's still very good. But Ethan's coming back for it, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So like, I think maybe it'll be a prequel sequel, or that character will kind of take on a supernatural form, maybe. So that'd be really cool. And then Five Nights at Freddy's 2 in December.
I'm not watching it. Don't make us watch it, James. Please, James, don't make us watch Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Of course, we have to watch it. And then we'll do an I'll Be Right Back on the first movie, of course, when that comes out as well. Just off the top of my head, a couple of ones that I think you could squeeze in there.
Sorry, same to you, Dan. Have a good Christmas, mate. Thanks for watching.
Blade is supposed to be out. I don't think that'll happen.
Blade's not out
We're
next
not getting
year.
that. What you call it? Thanksgiving 2. So that'll be November-ish, October, November. So that's going to be next year as well. A couple of the sequels and the Talk to Me or the Talk to Me is not that's next year as well. So like, it's gonna be cool. Gonna be a good year for our movies.
Some good horror. Now, as you all know on this show, what we do is we do live shows, but we also do I'll Be Right Back, which is our reviews. Just thought we'll have a quick look at some of the ones that we're thinking about doing next year.
You're giving away. This is our little secret stash of things.
I really don't think it's going to stop people watching, James. Okay. I wouldn't worry about that.
This is just like people always say, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that," and we have a little list. Yeah, and I just jot them down as we go. You know,
I think people should let one know as well about what they want to review. I tell you,
you have to watch it though. Because
I tell you now, I'm not watching.
No, but if you, we're doing almost all of these.
We're not. I'm not doing Plan 9 from Outer Space. You can stick that up your ass. I'm not watching that shit.
I'll do that if you do Monster Squad. I'll do Monster Squad if you do Plan 9.
How can you even see how you vomit coming out your mouth? Monster Squad is not in the same range as Plan 9. Monster Squad's a classic.
But we have the most fun, Peter, when we talk about the bad ones.
Oh, God. And I'm not watching Scooby Natural.
Yes, you are. And that's just fucking happening, Peter. I don't give a shit what you say. You absolutely are. So, yeah, Constant. I think that's Constantine. I'm like,
I don't know. You wrote it.
Half dyslexic, I guess. I'm also seeing a gap between T and E on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so that's annoying me. Yeah. Like for next year, like you can see, someone's put in brackets. Like they follow is out next year as well, so we'll do It Follows around then. There's 13 Ghosts TV show, so we'll do 13 Ghosts around then. We did X. Scream will be a really interesting one when we get around to that. That's also that's not next year. That's 2026. Yeah, and then there's some classics. So like, what often happens is like a thing will be coming out and we'll be like, oh, we'll do this thing for that. So we never even get to this. It's like Dog Soldiers was on this list for God knows how long. And we've only gone around to that now. So.
What's the Sentinel?
Somebody must have said it during commented on the show or something like that. I'll look at him now.
I don't recognize the name. The Sentinel. Well, there's a movie called The Sentinel, but it's about people who protect the president. I think I've not heard of that one. I don't think.
The Sentinel, 1977. Chris Sarandon stars in it. So it must have come up when we were talking about him or something. Somebody must have said it in the comments. Yeah. So yeah.
Van Helsing you've got on there. I have to say Van Helsing's a movie that I think gets a lot of shit. I found it fun. It's not a horror. It's not a horror, is it? But it's, you know.
It's a spooky. Yeah. It's a Universal Monsters thing. Yeah, with that may potentially be a contender for the in between of Nosferatu and thing. You know, maybe that's
It Follows. I'm looking forward to. I've not seen that one before.
It Follows, it's annoying that you watched Smile first, because I think like that might take away a little bit from it because it's so similar. Yeah, Unfriended. You never seen Unfriended, have you?
No, not seen
That's
that
the
one.
movie where the whole thing's on the laptop screen. It's really cool.
Sinister, I've seen.
Yeah.
Evil Dead. Yeah.
I don't know if this is. I think this is like this is an old one. I'm sure I've added stuff to this.
No, there's more to it, but I didn't want to give everything away.
Okay. Right.
Evil Dead, is that the like Evil Dead 1 or 2, or what do you want to watch?
The Evil Dead, but I feel like you have to do 1, 2, 3, or at least 1 and 2. Like you can't just do, and then you do the newer ones in a block next to that.
See, we're going to upset people because I think I'm going to be negative about some of these. Okay, probably. Let's move on. Lots and lots of good stuff to come in 2025. Final fuzzy fact: the cast of Final Destination 3 had to ride the roller coaster 26 times.
That was just getting annoying after a while.
Wow. Yeah. I'm scared of roller coasters because of the issues that happened with is it the Smile ride in Thorpe Park or somewhere?
No.
Yeah, awful. Someone lost the legs and stuff. Awful.
Well, the seat wouldn't close on you though, would it?
Yeah. Definitely not coming to Disney with us now. Are you going to watch all 5 Final Destinations? That sentence does not make sense. Yeah, we probably will. Mate. Yeah. Okie dokie. Listen, let's call it a night. Exactly, Fuzzy. Exactly. You know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go there. Listen, thank you very much, everybody that has watched tonight. We really do appreciate you all watching. Been good fun as usual. Watch out for 2025. Got lots more horror-related content coming your way. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that like and subscribe. Would really love to hit 500 subscribers relatively soon. So please help with that and spread the word if you like spooky shit. Massive thank you to our usual viewers. We do appreciate you all, and we hope you have a lovely Christmas. James, anything you want to add?
Yeah, well, we also have our end of best of 2020, best of year video. So that'll be we have to record that, but that'll be kind of probably New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. And then we have I'll be back on Dog Soldiers, so that'll be hopefully tomorrow evening. That'll come out. Little Christmas surprise. Yeah. You've been so busy, like. Watching all these movies that you just couldn't help with work or whatever.
You have one job. Anyway, James, talk what out.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas. It's not Halloween, but I still think everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Everyone's